Today is Saturday, February 8th, 2020. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is On the Grill Part 2 for Survivor Winners at War.
That is our opening music. Our intro, too, is Madsumo's On the Grill. It's a tradition here at Survivor Fans Podcast that we use when we're getting ready, when we're in the preseason and we're prepping. Things are about to begin. We're going in. If we've never seen them before, we call it the Jabbick, judge a book by its cover. But if we've seen them before, like in this season with all the returning winners, then it's just On the Grill. And we've got how many folks lined up? How many super fans?
18.
We've got 18 super fans who decided to throw their hat in the ring and share their thoughts and predictions about how this group's going to do and maybe some insight on the season as a whole from their perspective. Looking forward to that. Did you know that we have officially entered our 16th year? We're now in our 16th year of the podcast.
Wow.
And this will be episode 1206. How about
I'm
that?
old.
Somehow it ended up about you.
Years.
Okay.
That just says, whoa, I'm old.
Yep, done 15. Now we're in the beginning of our 16th year podcasting, our 31st season that we've covered since this all kicked off in February of 2005.
Wow.
Yep, and what a delightful one to look forward to here as we get ready for another season of Survivor.
Are you finally getting excited?
No, but you got to fake it till you make it. Yeah, you know. Hey, you're the one who went
hardcore.
there and asked the question.
Well, I was surprised. You sounded like you were getting excited.
Fake it till you make it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe after Wednesday, so we'll see.
I hadn't asked you lately, so
Yeah.
I thought, oh, maybe he's changed his mind now.
Warming up to it, still not so much. I'd see Probst and it annoys me. So.
I know. You've always been a slow start.
There we go. Okay, we'll go with that. No use arguing at this point. All right.
Oh, I'm excited.
Anything you want to say before we kick it off?
No, I want to hear what they have to say.
Okay, one quick note is that Chris did deliver. And
all right, Chris.
He's come through with his side challenge debt payoff song. And so we will do that at the end. Hang around for that. Or if you're really excited for it, you can jump ahead. But in any case, we'll do that before we wrap up and head out with the outro music. First up, we got a call from Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. Wow, it's finally here, baby. Winners at War. I'm going to let out a great big woo! I love it, baby. A battle of champions. Some I like, some I don't like. So let me get into it as quickly as I can. So I'll start with the red team. Nick, season 37. I think he's going to have a hard time, and he's better watch out with his temper. Tony, I love Tony. I'm hoping he can make the merge and do the spy shacks, but he's seen as a threat. Kim Spradlin's going to, I think, float under the radar, use her charm. But a lot of people see her as a threat, too. But I think she can make it far, into the final five. Amber, if not for Boston Rob, I think Amber could make it far as well. Definitely emerge. Sarah is seen as a threat, being the last female winner in season 34 game changes. I like Sarah. Maybe she'll work with Tony. Yule, I think, will be under the radar. But the thing is, Yule doesn't have many relationships, so we'll see. I love Wendell. Wendell's good in challengers. He makes furniture designs. He'll make it far. Not a big fan of Sophie. I hope she's the first one out. She's just a grouch. Sandra makes great TV, but she's the biggest threat. I wouldn't be surprised if she's the first one out, because everyone's talking about her not winning it 3 times. And I love Tyson. You know, Tyson's going to be snarky, make fun of all the castmates, and I think he may make it far as well, or be an early boot if he's not quiet. Okay, the blue team. Love Natalie. She's a challenge beast and a force. Like Danny Boatwright. She might be under the radar again. Maybe she'll work with some of those women. Love Jeremy. He's another challenge beast for the men. He's tall, athletic, and has great relationships. Ben, I don't know. Ben might be voted out early. The fire-making challenge, he got lucky. He found idols. Not too crazy about Ben. Well, Michelle, I think I could see her and Poverty working together. Adam, I think, might be out early. I mean, Adam doesn't have much game. Hey, he had that Mama's story, you know, which was sad in Millennial Gen X, but I don't expect much from Adam. Love Boston Rob, but he might be one of the first ones out, unless he works with Poverty. Denise, I think, might be under the radar. She could be an early boot. She's the oldest one there, and she's a good social player. And I love Ethan, but I don't know how far Ethan will get because of his story. He's probably my favorite one back. I loved him in Africa, and so glad he made it. He almost lost his life, but I don't think he's going to win, though. But there you go. This is our cast. Some are good. Some I'm not so happy with. Not too happy with Edge of Extinction, and that token thing is a bit much, too. It's going to tie up airtime. I hope not too much, because I want to see how the dynamic of the game goes, as you said, Stacy, with the social game. But I can't wait for this season's, guys. It's going to be epic and great. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Take care. Woo!
All right. Woo. Thanks, Pete.
Pete's excited.
Yes, he's dialed in. Next up, we got a call from Christiana.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Christiana from Boston calling with my On the Grill feedback for Survivor Season 40. I am so excited for the season. I watched the special this past Wednesday, and it just got me amped up, and I'm counting down the days until the premiere this week. In terms of threats, folks that are going to go under the radar, possible winners, I agree. So I have Rob as first out, assuming that tribe loses. If the other tribe loses, it would be Sandra, but I agree with you, Stacy. I think you said this, that Rob's tribe, whichever color that is, I can't remember, they're going to be the ones to lose, and then he'll be the first out. I do think in terms of public enemies, number 1 through 4, it would be Rob, followed by Sandra, followed by probably Parvati, and then Tony as top 4. And then there's also Amber, who as an extension of Rob. I'm not sure if she's seen as a threat, but if he's out early, I think then she will go farther. But if he's not out early, then I think she will go sooner. So we'll see how that plays out. In terms of winners, I was between Natalie Anderson and Jeremy. I really love them both. I love both of their wins. I think they're awesome players. But I went with Jeremy just because I've listened to a lot of Rob Has a Podcast analysis about the season, and there's a lot of parents on this season, people who had kids the first time that they played, but a lot of kids who didn't, or a lot of players who didn't have kids and now have kids. And I think it's going to be hard for a non-parent to win, because that's just going to be something that's really, really salient to a lot of the jury. I wouldn't even be surprised if they made it to Final 4, Final 3 together, but then I put Jeremy over Natalie, but I would love to see either of them win. I would also love to see Janice win, which I know you all have her. But overall, I'm just so excited to see these players interacting and playing together. It's such a strong season, and I really hope that the strategy is on point and the gamesmanship and the manipulation. It's just that's really what I love about Survivor. It's just the gameplay, the people aspect of the game. And so many of these players, that is their specialty. That's what got them to where they are. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how they play when they're playing with people who also have mastered that aspect of the game. And so gonna have to kind of take it to the next level. But anyway, excited to hear what other people have to say. and really looking forward to Wednesday. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.
All right. I'm excited that Christiana's excited.
Okay, good job, baby.
Next up, we got an email from Mike in Omaha. All Survivor fans, my first impression is that it is tremendous that we are getting an all-winners cast. I loathe Edge of Extinction, and I'm not alone. Jeff Probst needs to put on more makeup and leave the twist and the new ideas for smarter men. The Tribal Council voting marker this season might be the best one they've ever had. Stacy and Joanna listened to your On the Grill segment, and you both made me smile so many times, especially Joanne, because her Final Four, if that actually happened, pardon the hyperbole, I could die of happiness. Also appreciated how you two have the exact same read as me on many of the former winners in terms of how unlikable some of them are. You both are confident on Denise, and as I've mentioned before, she's fantastic. She's one of maybe my most favorite winner ever, but if I'm going to be really real, I don't know if she'll get there. I think with Edge of Extinction coming back and the fire tokens, this is going to be a crazy season where the winner is likely to get there through advantages and immunities galore. That being said, I hope I'm wrong. I also feel there are plenty of people who can get to the end, but that the jury, which might consist of everybody playing, won't elect a winner they don't feel represents the game and the brand. So someone like Michelle, who I think is awesome and could very well make it far, isn't getting rewarded with $2 million, no matter how she might deserve it. I also feel the same goes for Ben, Sophie, Sarah, and Adam. They all have no shot. Boston Rob, Amber, Tony, Kim, Ethan, Yule, and Sandra aren't winning either, not unless they pull shenanigans the likes of which we've never even fathomed before to do so. They won't be allowed to get that close. I don't think Nick is likable enough to win this game again. Wendell might win if he can bamboozle everybody. Danny might win if miracles truly exist. I will say the winner comes from the group of Tyson, Jeremy, Natalie, and with an extreme outside chance, Denise or Parvati. I'm probably overthinking things, but that's my best guess. I hope for a truly tremendous season in spite of the tidal wave of twists. Thank you, Joanne and Stacy. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Mike.
You know, part of me really wants to cheer on Parvati.
Sure. Why not? She's one of the best players that we've ever had in the game. Totally understand that.
If not the best.
As
far as the best. Actual gameplay and ability to make things happen.
Okay.
She's certainly one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I've struggled with the best, but
so part of me, I can't imagine they would let her get there, but part of me would love to see her work her way through and do it against all odds.
I think that's one of the good things is that there is an abundance of players here that you could be really excited and happy for. Mm-hmm. And then there's a handful of them that are, I don't know, they're just not as tested. Mm-hmm. They're not as...
Well, she's definitely been tested.
Yeah, definitely has.
And she feels like she has something to prove because she really doesn't want Sandra to win because she feels like she should have won Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, and by that same token, I'm not sure she should have won Micronesia.
Oh, well,
remember, if you're going to open that door, you got to open the other one.
I don't. I'm perfectly fine with Micronesia, and yes, we didn't see it coming, but doesn't mean she didn't do it. She obviously was working people behind the scenes. The edit just didn't show us.
Well, when they pulled the rug out from under Cerise, that thing that I always go back to, the way they went from a 3 to a 2.
Yes, we
out
love
of the blue
Cerise.
like that. And
but I
think Cerise would have beat her in that one.
Listening to Parvati laugh, I thought, oh, I remember. I missed that. I missed that laugh of Parvati when she's
okay.
And I love her husband. Mm-hmm. He's awesome. And John is one of the
that's important for a winner.
It is for me because he's a really nice guy, and I wouldn't mind seeing his wife win.
Okay, there we are.
So.
Thanks again, Mike. Next up, we got a call from Brandon. See if we can wrestle back from that segue.
What's up, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans? This is Brandon from Cleveland. I'm just here to say I'm excited for season 40. There's a lot of crap, obviously, that went down last season. I still enjoyed parts of it and everything. but obviously it was tainted. And so it's going to be nice to have this little fresh start, so to speak, and, have all these beloved winners come back that we've been following for so long. See people like Yule and Danny and Ethan back. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see who's going to stick around from, like, those heavy targets. Somebody got to stay. So is it going to be Rob or Amber or both as a duo? Is it going to be Sandra, Parvati, Kim? Somebody has to make it far out of those people. I don't just see all of them just getting dumped quickly, and those are like the first 5 or 6 boot. And even if that does happen, that means one of the remaining winners, there's going to be a group of them or a couple of them that are playing super hard to be able to get all those people out successfully. And so then they're going to emerge even more as the season progresses. So I just think just the juicy target list is just going to be so fun to see how far these particular targets go as we continue to progress through the season. I don't think there can be a bad winner this season. Even the most low-key people like a Michelle Fitzgerald or a Danny Boatwright, whoever's going to win this season is going to earn it. It's going to be so exciting to watch. So I'm looking forward to it. I will be playing in the challenge again, and hopefully I can keep up with more of the podcasts and giving in feedback, but no promises. I do look forward to the season, and I'm glad we're here, season 40. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.
All right. Thanks, Brandon. Glad you're able to get in here in the preseason assessment. Next up, we got a call from Samantha.
This is Survivor Rocks from Texas. I am pumped for Survivor Winners at War. I have got several favorites returning this season. It was hard to decide an ultimate winner, but I would like to see an old school player win since I've been watching from the very beginning, 20 years, May of 2000. I do think that Boston Rob, Amber, and Sandra will go early. Do I want them to? Of course not. I would like to see them last as long as possible. My husband thinks that Parvati goes early, maybe even first, just based on the Survivor special that was on. But he doesn't know the Black Widow like all us die-hard Survivor superfans do. I think she's going to hang around for a while because Parvati knows how to dodge bullets and adapt very well. We both don't want Sarah or Wendell to win. And Sarah is dangerous. You're a loose cannon. And I wasn't a Sophie fan, even though we do share the same date of birth. Tony is a favorite of ours. And if he plays like his first time, he will do well. But no spy checks and no running around with all that kind of silliness because these players are too advanced for that. Now, I've grown to like Tyson through all these years, but was happy for his win during Blood versus Water. Tyson is clever, sneaky, and could be the snake in the grass to watch out for. He could go deep in the game. And I think Yule will go deep into the game, possibly win the $2 million that he will donate to ALS. He's such a stand-up, nice guy. Ben will do well. He was our favorite during Heroes, Healers, and Hustlers. Danny will outlast most, Final Four. Denise is the oldest castaway, but age won't matter. She is fit and loyal, and that could take her far into the game. Now, Ethan is strong and is still very much a competitor. Don't you count Ethan Zahn out. And he's going to be fine. So don't underestimate Ethan Zahn, or he will make it to the finale. And I will be cheering for him on the sidelines once again. And Jeremy was a favorite and could do well. He could win if you let him get there. I've always liked Kim. She was a favorite of mine during One World, and I can see her outlasting for a long time. Michelle, no merge. Natalie, early out, seems to not have the motivation like the last time. Final Four, Ethan, Danny, Kim, Yule. I'm going to think that either Danny or Yule may win, and I'm going to say Danny. The Fire Tokens twist sounds very interesting, and I can't wait to see how the story unfolds in this chapter of Survivor Winners of War.
All right. Thanks, Samantha. Great to have you back. Next up, we got an email from Ed in Milwaukee.
Joanne and Stacy, I'm not bold enough to predict the winner of Survivor 40, but I will take a stab at the type of player who will win. I have divided the cast into 4 tiers. Tier 1 are the Survivor superstars. They are Survivor legends who have dominated the show. Tier 1 consists of Boston Rob, Tyson, Tony, Sandra, Parvati, and Kim Spradlin. Tier 2 players are great strategists, but were able to stealth themselves during the early game, only to later come out of the woods and play a dominating game. This group includes Jeremy, Natalie Anderson, and Sarah. I put Wendell in Tier 2 because he does not easily fit under the other categories. Tier 3 are players who did not show a lot of strategy during their victorious season, but they know the game of modern Survivor very well. I believe that this group can play very strategic game, but can fly under the radar until later in the game, which is when they will attack. This group includes Nick Wilson, Denise, Sophie, Adam, Ben, and Michelle. Tier 4 are old school survivors who have not been seen in a long time. This group consists of Ethan, Danny, Amber, and Yule. I believe the winner will come from Tier 3. This is because I think everyone will be looking first to get rid of Tier 1 and then to get rid of Tier 2. Therefore, Tier 3 players will be underestimated and be able to fly under the radar. History shows that the winners of All-Star seasons, Sandra, Jeremy, Sarah, and Amber, did not have targets on their backs when the game began and were able to lie low until they were able to work their way into a commanding position. Note that all of the Tier 2 players consist of people who won as Tier 3 players. I predict that Type 4 players will suffer from old dog, new trick syndrome. I guess their ability to adapt to modern Survivor, I question their abilities. Yule is a very smart guy who played a very strategic but old-style game. I believe that he may have the skills to adapt to modern Survivor. Amber has been out of Survivor a long time, but she lives with the man who wrote the book on how to play Survivor. If she is still around, and if Rob is voted out of the game and out of Extinction Island, Amber may be able to borrow a page from Rob's book. Several other notes: this cast is older than usual. Players such as Rob, Tyson, and Ethan, who in the past were physical threats, are now significantly older. It will be interesting to see if they can still play a physical game. I think that strategically most of the cast will try to get the big stars out of the game as soon as possible. That way only 1 or 2 of them could make it back from exile. It would be wise to vote Sandra out early because she is the least likely to be able to come back from exile. And finally, the presence of Amber, Danny, Parvati, and Kim will give new meaning to the term mom on vacation.
Super moms. Yeah. Super Survivor moms on vacation. All right. Next up, we got a call from Cameron.
Hey, Joanna, Stacy, and Survivor fans. This is Cameron from North Carolina calling in for the On the Grill. I have so many thoughts, and there's so much to be said about what we know so far, but I'll keep it in the 3-minute range, of course. It was in last May when I was in Denver on a road trip when this cast list was leaked, and I've been eagerly anticipating the season since. Right out the gate, who are my favorites? I got to go with Tyson and Ethan. I love both of them so much. I love Nick too, but he's much more recent. Tyson and Ethan, they're lifelong favorites of mine. To be honest, I don't know how great they'll fare. I mean, they aren't the biggest names of who we think will win so far. I would love for them to do great, don't get me wrong. But if I had to put money on it, you never know. The cast overall is pretty good. I could do without Rob and Sandra, but hey, you got to do what you got to do to draw in the viewers who aren't devoted fans, but when they see Boston Rob and Sandra, they're like, oh, I remember those names, maybe I'll watch this season. Of course, kind of what last season fell into. I really could do without Tony Vlachos. He's the one person I'm just like, he shouldn't be there. I respected his gameplay in Cagayan, but Game Changers was flat proof he is a one and done. No way does he make the merge this time around again. Just going to be some fun TV time for an episode or two, and then he'll turn right back around and come home. So one person I've been super uncertain about is Sophie Clark. I mean, don't get me wrong, she had a great final tribal council when she was up there against Coach and Albert, but I didn't think she played the strongest game. But they've been advertising her as, oh, she is so different and she's so ready to come out with a vengeance. So who knows? Oh, man, I'm so excited. Ben, I'm so glad to see Ben back. I'm so glad to see Wendell back. I'm so glad for all these people. Who do I think will win right out the gate, right on the grill, per se? I love Yule. I think he's a great shot to win it. It's so hard. If I had to give 3 names right out the gate, I'll say Yule, I'll say Denise, and I'll say Danny. Them 3, I think, are just 3 of the strongest winners we've had so far, and if they can make it the distance this time around, I wouldn't be the most surprised. Of course, I would love to see most anyone win. It's going to be a great season. Nick, if I can see Nick come back and win, that would be awesome too, seeing as he's the most recent guy on there. Anyway, Joanne and Stacy, I will say that this season I am up for the side challenge. This is something I've been really thinking about doing since 2 seasons ago. I've just been afraid to pull the trigger on. But you know what? Season 40, big season. I did pretty good last season. I did pretty good 2 seasons ago. Why not? I will throw myself in with the Wolves. Joanna Stacy, put me down for the side challenge if you will. I am so thankful for this podcast. I'm so thankful Survivor's back. It's really been a short break, but hey, season 40 is here, folks. Survivor fans and Joanna Stacy, I will see you all after the premiere.
All right.
All right, it's done.
Yep.
You've been at it.
Good job, Cameron. Next up, we got a call from Noelle.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Noelle calling from Albuquerque. Immie is going to send in written feedback. I'm very, very excited about Winners at War. I like all of these players, and I'd be happy to see any single one of them win. But my USB is going to be Parvati. She's my all-time favorite. She's the reason I watch Survivor. When Micronesia was on TV, I was recovering from a bad breakup, and watching her pick off the men one by one was great. I also really admire and feel that her ability to connect with the women on her tribe and build unbreakable alliances with women who even initially don't want to work with her is completely underestimated still. So I think Parvati will be fun to watch as well, so it'll be fun to root for her. And if she does get sent to Extinction Island, I still think she could win because she'll be like Chris out there, charming the jury the whole time. As far as who I'm picking for first out, I'm going to go with Sarah. I think that the way that Sarah played last time is going to make it really hard for anyone to trust her, and so I'm surprised that she's back. Considering that she agreed to come back, she must have some kind of plan, and it'll be really interesting to see how she plays this time. Who do I think will do well on Extinction Island? Parvati, of course. I think a lot of the women who played strong social games will do really well on Extinction Island. Parvati has a great shot at winning the challenge to get back in the game if that's how they're doing it this season. I'd like to see even Sandra on Extinction Island, although I don't think she could win a challenge to get back in the game. I think Sandra, it would be fun to watch on Extinction Island because she'll probably be trying to get in everyone's head. I think Sandra's probably the only person that could talk someone into raising the flag to be taken out of the game, and that would be funny. Who would I like to see team up? I'd like to see Ben and Ethan team up. I'd like to see Rob and Adam team up. I think Adam might be a little starstruck going out there, but I guess we'll see if that's the case or not. I'm curious to see who Sophie and Denise are going to team up with. A lot of people are talking about teaming up with my girl Parvati, so again, she's going to win. Yay, Parvati. I don't understand the fire tokens. I guess I'll figure them out as the show goes on. And I'm really curious about Extinction Island, how they're going to do it this time. The survivors know about it because it was part of the game that was airing before they left. So are they going to know that it's a factor in this game? Are they going to assume it's a factor in this game? I really am curious to see how that's going to change everyone's gameplay. But excited to watch the new season with everybody in the Jabik show. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Noelle.
They definitely know it's a possibility because in one of the interviews where they were supposed to say what they thought could happen, I forget who it was, might have been Natalie Anderson, that said, I don't think, even when you're voted off, I don't think you're really out. So, which means extinction or one of those. And so I think they're expecting something like that because that's very common in a season where there's a lot of
returnees.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't part of the pitch.
Yeah.
That
you'll have another opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Good deal. Thanks, Noelle. Next up, we got feedback from Immie. And Immie, I wanted to say you have very nice print. That's the first time we've gotten handwritten feedback, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. Immie says, my USB would be Yule. I'd pick him because I feel like it would be smart to vote out the threats, Rob, Amber, Sandra, etc. When Yule played the first time, I didn't feel he was a threat, even though he won. For my first vote out, I would pick Tony because he is such a threat. I think Rob would do good on Extinction Island because he is really good at everything. I would definitely like to see Amber and Tyson team up. All right, that's interesting. Good deal. Good job, Immie. Next up, we got a call from MikeK.
Hey, Joanna, Stacy, and Survivor fans. This is MikeK from SoCal. I'm so excited for Season 40 Winners at War. I've had the honor of meeting 18 of the 20 winners. I've not yet met Danny nor Yule, so I'm looking forward to meeting them at the finale, which I hope you two will be able to attend. The first Survivor I ever met was Amber at a work event, right after she played in Outback. So I have a soft spot in my heart for Amber, and I've loved watching Amber and Rob through the years. Also, Amber came in second in several individual immunity challenges against Colby and Rob, so she, at that time, was a challenge threat. I was also Adam's handler at the reality rally, and I played Durham Warrior Survival Challenge with Adam, so he is the winner I know the best. I got to see him with my own eyes and how awesome of a social player Adam is, and everyone out there should watch out for him. Being a computer science major, I like to look at statistics. 3 of the winners are from the first 10 seasons, Ethan, Sandra, and Amber. 4 winners from the second 10, Danny, Yule, Parvati, and Sandra again. And 7 winners from the third 10, Boston, Rob, Sophie, Kim, Denise, Tyson, Tony, Natalie, and also 7 winners from the last 9, which were actually right in a row, 31 through 37, is Jeremy, Michelle, Adam, Sarah, Ben, Wendell, and Nick. And this is a much older cast than our typical season. The average age is 37.8, which puts Tyson at the closest at 39, and also Parvati, Kim, and Ben are 36. The youngest is Michelle, Adam, and Nick at 28, and the oldest is Denise at 48. And only 5 winners have won without finding a hidden immunity idol, of course, after they were invented in Danny's season. Danny, Sophie, Denise, Michelle, and Sarah all won without finding one. Tony and Ben have the record of finding 3 in their seasons each. 5 players have won without winning individual immunity: Sandra, Yule, Tony, Sarah, and Ben. Most wins, like 3, were by Sophie and Kim, 4 by Parvati. She had 1 and then 3, and Kim, and Tyson had 2 and 2. The most is Boston Rob, who had a 9, and he had 0 in his first season, but he had 4, then 1, and then 4. So there's some big challenge threats out there. But I think the biggest factor is there are 11 one-season players and only 9 multiple-season players. Of those multiple seasons, 5 of them have played twice: Ethan, Amber, Tony, Jeremy, and Sarah. 3 of these winners have played 3 times. That's Sandra, Parvati, and Tyson. And of course, there's 1 player who has played 4 times. That's Boston Rob. Every multiple-season player has played with at least 1 other winner. Boston Rob has played with 5 other winners: Ethan, Amber, Parvati, Sandra, and Tyson. And Natalie is the only single-season player that has played with another winner. She played with Jeremy. I really feel like the single-season players will team up against those multiple-season players, similar to how the non-winners teamed up against the winners in All-Stars. And I think the winner will be one of the single-season players, and that's one of Danny, Yule, Sophie, Kim, Denise, Natalie, Michelle, Adam, Ben, Wendell, or Nick. And from there, I think one of the ones from the middle of those seasons, which would Natalie's right in the middle, and Denise and Michelle are. So I think those are the 3 I'd be watching out to win: Denise, Natalie, Wendell, Michelle. Looking forward to hopefully seeing you two at the finale, and also listening to all the rest of the Survivor fans. This is MikeK from SoCal.
All right, thanks, Mike. Nice job with the breakdown there. Next up, we got a call from Kyle.
Hey, Joanna, Stacey, and all the Survivor fans at home. This is Kyle from Calgary, Canada, calling with some predictions for Season 40 Survivor Winners at War. Overall, I'm not super excited about this season just yet. The anticipation will build a little bit probably within this next week, and I'll be happy to be watching it on Wednesday. But I don't know if it was the bad taste of the last season still lingering, or maybe it was just it's been so recent since the season was on that I didn't even get a chance to digest it. But overall, I know that I will be excited for it on Wednesday, and certainly looking forward to the podcast and everyone's feedback and all the interaction. So first thing, and I feel like this is my main takeaway from the last reunion show, and I should have brought it up then, but I felt that that Rob doesn't make it very far in the game, and Sandra certainly makes it much further. And my reasoning here, pretty simple, is that you look at Rob, and he still got that gut, that little beer belly that he had on Island of the Idols, and Sandra has slimmed down a considerable amount, and I'm thinking that that's maybe just the weight loss from being maybe on the island for such a long time. That prediction came out before I knew about Extinction Island being a thing again, and maybe they have the same weight loss, but maybe Sandra just wanted to slim down for whatever reason. Either way, that was my brilliant thought until the reality of Extinction Island came back, and it kind of messed it all up. I found it weird that certain individuals, certainly castaways, aren't being featured very much at all in some of the pre-season media and such. I mean, one El Michelle comes to mind, but also Natalie. And they also were really not featured very heavily on the Survivor retrospective that was shown the other night. I'm not sure if that means that they'll go far in the game, or maybe they just won't have really impactful moments in the story coming forward. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. Also, this type of season really shows how little of an impact some of these winners had on my enjoyment of the other seasons. And yeah, there's some good ones. Like I liked Wendell and some of the other ones like Ben and stuff. But to me, these weren't the best parts of the season. And I guess that's just the way that it goes in these kind of seasons. I mean, there are some really great characters that never were able to make it to the end. But these winners, they're just kind of okay for me. So it'll be cool to see them, especially some of the older ones that I hadn't seen for a very long time. But and also with that retrospective, it was very clear. Like, there was so many great moments on Survivor that these winners were just not a part of. So maybe they'll have another second chances kind of thing coming up or something. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for me. So again, thanks for all you do. Looking forward to Wednesday. All the best, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Next up, we got an email from Barbara in Long Island.
Welcome back, Joanne and Stacy, and all you Survivor fans. I think this season will be one for the ages because, one, nobody is going to get voted out because they're lazy around camp. Two, there won't be any goats, and no one can use a sob story at the end to win. Three, the edge of extinction will allow powerful networking. 4, all the advantages and idols won't be enough. Social expertise will conquer all. 5, there won't be a bitter jury, just a large one. It's sure going to be fun. Good luck, everybody. All right, thanks, Barbara.
I like that positive outlook.
You betcha. Up next, we got a call from KimJ.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy, it's KimJ from Nashville. I'm so excited for season 40. I've been consuming lots of preseason podcasts and I've read a lot of interviews. I haven't read everybody's interview. I haven't watched anybody's video, but I've heard a lot of what people have said about other people's videos, and so I feel like I've watched them at this point. I'm super excited to see Danny back, Yule, Kim, Ethan. I'm even kind of excited to see what Amber's going to bring to the table. I definitely didn't think we'd ever see Amber on our screen again. I love Sophie and I love Natalie, and I'm hoping that they do well. As also, I really thought that a woman is going to win this season, and I totally thought I was going to pick a woman as my USB. And then I read Dalton Ross's article with Yule, and he wants to donate his winnings, should he win, to ALS research in honor of Jonathan Penner, who's a good friend of him. His wife, for those that don't know, has ALS, and it's been a really rapid decline for her, and it's very, very sad. And that just hit me, and I was like, that's it. Yule is my USB. He might be the first one voted out because he doesn't have any connections and don't know how plugged in he's been, but he's really smart, and I feel like if he can make it past the first couple of votes, I think he could go really far. And so even if he's got a short stay, I kind of feel like in an all-star season, it's kind of fun to pick somebody that you want to root for, whereas in a newbie season, I really am trying to pick somebody that I think can win or somebody I think I will enjoy rooting for as well. So I'm going to enjoy rooting for Yule because I love Yule and I think he's a great winner. It was funny in his Dalton Ross interview, he talked about how he went on Reddit and a lot of people have discounted his win because of his super idol. And so I thought it was really funny. Like, he feels like he's got to come in and prove something, which I guess there's other people like that. I know Michelle Fitzgerald is like that. And I'm one of those naysayers. She's going to have to prove something to me because I'm not excited to see her back. I have to say, out of all the other winners, she was probably the one I was least excited to see, even though she's somebody I would most expect to see because we don't have that many females winners. So, of course, she was going to be out there. So I certainly hope she comes out guns blazing. And I don't think she will. I don't think she has to. Why am I spending all my feedback talking about Michelle Fitzgerald? Anyway, I'm excited for the season. I can't wait to hear who other people are picking as their USB, if they're picking people that they want to root for, or if they're picking people that are kind of middle of the road that they think can make it to the end. So, glad to be back.
All right. Thanks, Kim J. Watch. Kim J will end up picking one L Michelle as her USB.
No, I think she's clear on that.
Yeah. Next up, we got a call from Jody. I think she's making some stir fry. Either that or it was raining.
Hey, Survivor family, it's Jody in Brisbane. Just getting a couple of thoughts down. Hopefully I'm not too late. I actually didn't check what the deadline was, so this might all be for nothing. So I'm really excited about Winners at War. I've realised that I am an underdog backer, and hello, there are no underdogs really here. I mean, let's just take a bunch of millionaires. I know they're not all millionaires, but and pit them against each other. So elite versus elite. I heard somebody say, Winners at War, the humbling. I think it was Rob. That was really good. So I have picked Tyson as my winner because I really enjoy his snarky sort of meanness, and I think he's funny. And I think that even though he is, all that, I think he is also kind of humble in a way. I think he might be able to work the middle in this crowd. Honestly, what could be better? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If they had gotten all of the previous winners back and just pit them against each other, Australian Survivor style, that would have been everything. But anyway, here we go. I can't wait. I'm really excited to see some of these players from long ago that we never thought we'd have back. But Tyson's my guy. He's probably going to be first out after I've cursed him in such a way, but yeah. Anyway, guys, can't wait to hear from you, and bye.
All right. Thanks, Jody. Next up, we got an email from Josh the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanna and Stacy, it's been almost 2 months, but thoughts of season 39 still leave a bad taste in my mouth. Time for a palate cleanser. Bring on season 40, Winners at War. Here are my other observations. I've heard that some former winners wanted a guarantee that they'd last more than 3 days. The Survivor gods heard their plea and brought back the edge of extinction. My gut tells me that Boston Rob will wind up on Extinction Island. I'm betting that any shelter he can build there won't match the grandeur of the one he built last season on Big Head Island. Oh, you know what that made me think of is I saw some clip where Boston Rob was saying, I forget what, maybe it was the ET interview.
It was.
Yeah, where he said they all just came by in the boat and saw my giant head.
Yep. He's like, so great, thanks. Yeah. Thanks for showing them
They left that up, yeah. Interesting. Okay, back to Josh. Fire tokens promise to turn the game upside down. It'll be interesting to see how the players use them and if anyone tries to persuade their tribe mates to burn them off early on frivolous purchases in order to lessen their strategic impact. I'm thankful that a season featuring Handsy Dan wasn't followed by one with Rubbin' Rich. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness.
Rich isn't happy about it, but...
Yeah, if Rich would own what he did, I could feel more comfortable listening to him, but he doesn't, and I think Josh nailed him perfect with that name right there, Rubbin' Rich. The black market token advantage exchange between Extinction and those still in the game seems tailor-made to help Rob and Amber the most. They're the only true alliance in the game and don't have to worry about trust or motivation in any deals between them. You bet. I've read that the Edge of Extinction twist might be different this season, with the early boots going home after the play-in challenge at the merge and not becoming part of the jury.
Please.
That would definitely be better than the Underwood scenario that played out last time. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the case, though.
Oh, I hope it is.
Would it at least be a partial fix for, how they've broken the game? Did anyone else hear that the pregame interviews were concluded near Island of the Idols? Conducted. And in full view of Rob and Sandra's giant heads. I guess I had that in my mind when I said that about the boat, but I had just seen the boat clip. Way to put bigger target on their backs, producers. Sorry to steal your thunder a little bit there, Josh. I wonder how many fire tokens it'll cost to buy a spy shack. It'll be interesting to see what a season without Mactors and unsuccessful dingbats looks like. Fear not, though, we'll still have high-functioning dingbat Tony. I have a feeling that Rob made an enemy of Sandra by not letting her know that Amber is playing. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, not only Amber, but himself, evidently.
Yeah, she didn't know. She already said in the little clip she feels betrayed.
After being on Survivor Africa, playing in Fiji will probably make Ethan feel like he's on vacation. He has played on the beach before, whereas Danny hasn't.
Yeah, he played in,
All-Stars.
Season 8.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it from me for now. Thanks, Joanna and Stacy, for all you do. Can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to you too, Josh. Good job, buddy. Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
Hello, Joanna and Stacy. Hello, Survivor fans. This is me, Jeremiah Panhorst, here with my On the Grill predictions for Survivor Season 40 Winners at War. Man, I tell you what, guys, I cannot be more excited than I am right now. This is definitely probably the most anticipated season ever in the history of Survivor. I mean, all of us fans have been wondering what it'd be like to see all the winners come back and play. And now we have that season. Granted, like everyone else, I'm very disappointed they're bringing back EOE. Kind of diminishes the excitement a little bit of getting an all-winner season, because we all, of course, hate EOE, just like we hated Redemption Island. But the good news is I don't think any of these players are going to reward someone who comes back from EOE with the win. Maybe production will find a way to make this harder, like only having EOE come back once, or remove the fire challenge, or how about a final 2? But I'm liking the idea about the fire tokens and can't wait to see how that plays out. Could be fun. But what an awesome cast we have here. Outside of the missing of people like Todd Herzog and Richard Hatch, I'm pretty happy with what we got. And what's really exciting is 11 of these players have only played once. That could be very interesting. Maybe they could all align together. Who knows? I always figured in a season like this that a lower key winner would take it. Most likely a woman, since they do so much better in all returnee seasons. But outside of a few players, many of these people have giant targets on their back. Could this be a season where all the targets work together this time and remove out the lesser no winners? So many questions going into this season. Like, who's going to be the GOAT? To prepare for this podcast and for the season, I have gone back and watched the first and last episode of each of these players' winning seasons. Then I went back and listened to my original take on SFP, which was a lot of fun, and watched all, of course, the pregame interviews, and then recorded an hour-long podcast on JP Unplugged with a full cast review. So I'm prepared at this point. But after all that, guys, I have no idea who's going to win this. Luck more than any other season will probably determine who's going to win this thing. So here's what I come up with so far. Not making the merge, Boston Rob, Nick, Yule, Sandra, Danny, Amber, Natalie, and Ben is at the bottom. Some of my top picks is Ethan, Jeremy, Tyson, Denise, Sarah, and Wendell. My final 4 is probably going to be a combination of some of these people on the top towards the middle. So I'm thinking like Wendell, Jeremy, maybe Denise, Sarah, something like that. I'm leaning towards either Denise or Wendell for my USB at this moment. That could change, of course. First out's going to definitely be Boston Rob, no doubt about that. Returnee from EOE, I'm going to go with Natalie. She's tough. And there you go. That's it. Boy, I am so excited for this season. Stacy, definitely count me in for the side challenge. By the way, when I was going back and listening to old episodes of Survivor Fans podcast, I think Little Russ and Evil Meryl Parvati kind of started the challenge. Am I correct about that? All right, well, that's it for me. You guys take care, and until next time, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
All right, thanks, Jeremiah. And I tried going back and looking, and I haven't narrowed it down, so I don't have an answer for you exactly on how the side challenge got started. But I'm glad you're in there participating again. Look forward to whipping you on this one because it'll count even more this time.
Yeah, he's done a lot of research. Way more than I did, anyway.
Yeah, that's impressive. Let's we'll make sure to get a link in there to that. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi everyone, this is Jen in California. Well, here we are. It's season 40, a season I honestly did not think would ever happen. I didn't think that they would put together a all winners season, but they did, and I gotta tell you, I am so excited for this. I don't even know where to start in terms of considering who the possible winner could be out of this group. There are just so many good players, so many dangerous players, so many who could fly under the radar. I really think that each of these players have just as good a chance of making it to the end and becoming the sole survivor as anybody else does. I mean, I'm just sitting here looking at the visual roster and I'm just overwhelmed. I think that there are just so many people I'm excited to see. And I really think on any given day, with a little luck, any of these people could win. But I'll tell you who pops out to me the most. I always keep looking at Denise and Parvati. My eye is just constantly drawn to them for some reason. I like Yule. I like Ben. I would love to see Sandra or Tony get a foothold in the game and stay in for a while. I don't know if they'll be in for good. They're big targets, but they're two contestants that I really enjoy watching. I like Nick. I heard an interview with Jeremy a few days back, and I realized that I have forgotten just how much I like Jeremy. Tyson is just going to be a hoot, and I'm even excited to see Michelle back in it. I think that I'm excited to see her because she's like the biggest enigma to me. You know, she was the one that kind of flew under the radar and came out of nowhere to win, so I think that she's a little bit of a blank slate. Watching her play might be kind of like watching her play for the first time. As far as who I think will make the Final Four, I would like to see Parvati, Denise, Yule, and Ben make a Final Four. For no other reason than I just like all four of them. First out, I'm gonna say Sarah. She seems to be on everybody's radar as a threat. And then I just wanted to say about the Rob and Amber threat, I originally was thinking that you need to at least get one of them out to disarm the other. But with Edge of Extinction this year, I mean, they just need to get both Rob and Amber out of the game, if for no other reason than to prevent one from leaving and then re-entering the game to form their alliance with the other again. I spent most of my time here just gushing over who's coming back. I don't encourage anyone to listen to me and my predictions, because I seriously don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even want to listen to my own predictions. But if I have to throw a name out there for a win, I'm going to say Denise, just to go on record. And I can't wait to hear everyone else's voice and predictions. Welcome back, everyone. Bye.
All right, welcome back to you too, Jen. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul in Louisiana here, and okay, we pretty much know everyone. So in terms of players, I'm just going to say that I really like, and I mean really like, Denise, Natalie, Yule, and Parvati. The last two are long shots to me because they are going to be considered major threats, and I think they'll be weeded out before things get too close to the end. Interestingly enough, I hated Parvati in her first season, but her next appearances made me love her as a player. But she's too good to last. Yule, yeah, same thing. Too good to last. So, I am torn between Natalie or Denise, but I'm leaning ever so slightly more towards a Denise win, and therefore Denise is my USB. Now, with that out of the way, I'm really thinking that this is going to be a cutthroat season. And that's why, even though I'm not a fan of returning players, I'm going to enjoy watching this season. These people have played the game to the end and know what it takes to win. Well, for the most part. And yes, I'm talking about you and El Michelle. I suspect that we'll be seeing the big-time strategy players going quickly because they are the ones that can't be trusted, and they are liabilities to the people that they team up with, which leads to blindsides. But then again, I think just about every vote this season will be viewed as a blindside. It's going to be very interesting. And finally, I'll state for the record that I don't care for Tyson. I don't care for Tony. and I don't like Rob. These three have always rubbed me the wrong way, so I'm hoping they go before too long. I think Rob and Amber and Sandra are going to go fairly quickly because, yeah, Sandra's won twice, and Rob and Amber, well, it's essentially a 2-time win because it's 2 wins in one household. At least that's the way I see it, so I don't have high hopes for any of them. So I guess that's it for me. Denise is my current choice for a USB, but if I hear a lot of people rooting for Natalie, I may just rethink this. Honestly, though, I'd love to see Parvati win it again. I can't believe how much I admire her gameplay. So that's it for me. Everyone enjoy that first episode. I know I'll be on the edge of my seat. Take care now. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
That was my sentiments exactly. There's something keeps drawing me to Parvati.
Yeah, you may have to switch your USB from Denise to Parvati, huh?
I could, but I don't think they would let her get there. But like I said, that would be exciting to watch.
Loyalty. You got to have some loyalty or trust. You got to have some basis for trust. Because unfortunately, while you can trust no one, you got to trust someone. So when you look at the two tribes, who stands out to you as trustworthy on the DeKalb Red tribe? Who would meet that?
Well, you'll, of
check?
course.
Yeah, absolutely. That's number one, like head and shoulders.
Yeah.
Right. Who else?
Trustworthy? I think people would think Kim was.
Yep. So you're
Tyson,
looking...
no. Wendell?
Yeah.
Not Tony.
No.
I don't know what they would think about Sophie. Meh.
Yeah, probably meh. I think that's a good assessment.
I don't know. They might even see Amber as somewhat trustworthy, but her association to Rob will probably rule that out.
Yeah, and then there's Rob's friendship with Tyson, too. Like Jen was talking about, or several people are talking about actually, you got to take Rob and Amber out to make sure that they don't reunite at the end like that. And you might as well throw Tyson in with that, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I think Kim and Wendell and Yule, and maybe you go ahead and throw Sophie in there in terms of people that you can trust, that you can build some loyalty with.
I wouldn't throw Sophie in, but yeah.
That's not enough for the majority. It's almost like the untrustworthy ones. Sarah, Sandra, maybe Nick, and Tony and Tyson, that they've got a majority in that tribe. So chaos could potentially reign more there, which could undermine some things.
Well, Sandra wants to target the women because there can't be any other queens. She wants to get all of the women out, she said.
And that's
now, whether
easy
she'll do that or not, I don't know.
Yeah, it's easy to make a pitch for getting rid of Sarah when the time comes in that regard.
Oh, definitely.
But look at Sele. They, and who stands out as you recall as playing a trustworthy game that can lead to loyalty.
For sure.
Yep.
I think
I think there are more of them here that played that kind of game. Ethan.
Jeremy.
Yes, absolutely, Jeremy.
Maybe Adam, though.
No, I don't know.
Ben, for sure.
Yeah.
Though I don't know that he'll play that way this time.
Maybe not, but this is... You got to look for somebody you can trust.
Yeah. They probably will Danny, though I don't think they should.
And Natalie, Natalie's game was all about getting revenge for Jeremy and her 20. So, you're not going to look to Boston Rob for trust. And I would say you're not going to look to Parvati, but within her group, who she aligns with, very loyal and trustworthy to the point of major protection that she offered.
The only thing that's going to hinder Parvati is her game was going to be based around getting sympathy with the other mothers. And Denise, I think she has kids, but they're older. So she's not going to have the new mommy ooh and ah thing. Danny, she might connect with Danny on that level. Though, I don't know, I see Danny as more hardcore, that she's going to separate that out even more than Parvati. Natalie and Michelle, as far as I know, don't have kids.
Right.
So she doesn't have... If she were with Amber and Kim, I think that would be different. Because,
a stronger mom connection, young mom connection.
Young moms, yeah.
Well, I guess she's got Ben and Jeremy that she could look to, and potentially Boston Rob, but she'd have to build a different kind of alliance to leverage that attribute. But I would say that Blue Tribe, Sele Tribe, has got a lot more people who are known for being trustworthy or loyal that you could build that off, because you're just going to be hungry, desperate for someone you can trust, even though you know you can't trust anyone in the long game early on. And that sentiment's seems like it's going to be really different in DeKalb and the Red Tribe.
Well, Rob's already said he and Parvati together would be unstoppable. But I don't know that she wants that target on her. Now she might tell him as long as
he's in front of her, yeah. But that's just one step away from your next to go. That doesn't seem as compelling.
Yeah, I don't.
When you're weighing the pros and the cons. Yep. What was interesting was we went back and we watched the beginning of Heroes versus Villains, because it starts with a reward challenge and then has an immunity challenge. And Rob was instrumental. Rob and Sandra seemed to be instrumental in them winning that initial.
They were.
Reward challenge, right? Or immunity challenge, rather. Yeah, the immunity challenge.
They solved the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And because the other.
And I don't think of them necessarily as being great puzzle solvers, but they did seem to work well on that one.
Oh yeah, and they totally won with the puzzle, because the villains were way behind in the boat challenge, and the heroes had a huge lead, but they lost it on the puzzle.
Yeah.
That was actually fun. We went back to watch to kind of see, because it wasn't clear to us that there would just be one person voted out, since it's a 2-hour, but we kind of suspected that it's just going to be one, because they'll want to, give us a lot of ideas about the other aspects of the game. From the beginning, and give us a little more time to get used to the tribes and that kind of thing. So we went back to watch what they did on Heroes versus Villains, and that's what they did. Had a reward challenge and only one.
It was very physical, yep, just like
very
this
physical.
One's going to be.
Like, here's who you're up against, and I had forgotten Stephanie dislocating her shoulder, and Rupert breaking his toe, and
in 2 or 3 places, yeah.
Like, that was pretty brutal too.
Yep.
And so I expect this one to start out kind of like that, but I hope nobody gets hurt this time.
Yeah, you don't want to have to start with injuries. That's very. How much do you think the $2 million is going to factor in? How much do you think that changed everyone's perspective when he pops that on them right at the beginning?
They were already determined. I think it will make every single one of them even more determined.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to mess with them? Putting a bigger carrot out like that?
Yeah, sure. It'll mess with them. Mm-hmm. Sure it will. So they're like, oh, man, that could really set us up for...
This is different. This is on another level. Yeah.
I'd actually maybe get $1 million this time.
Yeah, you would. You could clear $1 million after taxes.
Yeah, which they don't get as much as you think they would.
No.
Some of the winners have told us. And
$640K
really?
after taxes.
Less after state taxes, too. Way less.
Okay.
So anyway, I think that'll make a difference. Who can you
trust loyalty thing? As we were going through everybody's feedback, that just kept going through my mind when I was looking up the visual roster, and that's when I came to the conclusion there are more people that you could build trust with on blue than there seems to be on red.
Well, I think people will be courting Ethan because they think he's very trustworthy, and that he's an old school player, and that he doesn't know the new game. I think they'll have a leg up. And Rob had already said that somebody like Ethan, who doesn't have, current friends in the game, so as much as maybe some of the other people do.
Yeah, I think it's pretty well known that Rob and Tyson are friends, so you got to lump him in.
Yeah, I do think it'll make a difference how many times they've played, and especially since Mike said there's 11 first-time players out there. Mm-hmm. And I thought, yeah, that would make a difference to me. Hey, you guys have already had your extra shots.
Yeah.
Get out of my game.
Yeah, you got to find some common ground to build on here, something to build alliances or voting blocks with.
It'd be interesting to see what that commonality is.
Yeah, and I'm hoping those 2 hours really help with that.
Yes, me too. And that's why.
Because I don't think they can get, we won't necessarily, Edge of Extinction won't make itself known until the end of the episode. And the fire tokens will be there in the beginning, so there'll be a little bit about it, but the full version of fire tokens doesn't come into play until some people are at Edge of Extinction. So I don't think it'll take too much away from the 2-hour premiere.
Well, but are they going to let them know about Edge of Extinction or not? Because that's going to make it, if they know about Edge of Extinction, that is also going to change the game in that they have to be even more careful how they vote somebody off. Because that person might be right back after you.
Yeah, not right back, but
whenever they come back.
Late game re-entry, yeah, mid to late game.
They could hurt you later on, so you do have to think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas, in a regular game, you're just like, oh yeah, they're out. There's nothing they can do now. They're out of here.
Well, a partial answer to your question will come the first time a deal gets done.
Yep.
The first time there's a proposed deal from Extinction back into an active player, they'll know what's going on in that regard.
Yep. I'm interested in seeing how that all plays out.
I don't know that they'll hide it from them the way they did the first time.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking if they do, it won't be for long.
If they do, yeah, they'll know when they have that first challenge at the merge for someone to return at the merge, and then, you'll certainly be very well aware of it when someone returns at the final 5.
If they allow them to come sit in at all tribal councils.
Since they're going to be on the jury.
Or even if they're not, just to know have some insight about what's going on in the game. They may allow them to come sit in on every tribal, so they would realize at that point that they weren't out of the game.
Where they could potentially leverage the spy shack. I don't know if you want to give somebody coming back in all that knowledge or not. That's an interesting...
The spy shack?
Yeah, like they had for Rob and Sandra last season.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're going to have that, no. If they
you're
come
thinking
back,
they would be openly able to observe a tribal council of each tribe?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Not a spy shack.
Okay.
Or a hidden shack or whatever. No, I don't think so, because when we saw the set, they have a room upstairs, which is probably where Sandra and Rob were, but the voting booth is private, and it's up the stairs and around, so I don't think they'd have them up there, because that's where they go to vote.
Okay. Well, they can have different elevated platforms, but I see what you're saying.
But I think that's a possibility, too.
Just a few short days away, and it all kicks off. Hey, we want to say a big thanks again. Acknowledge the work that Paul did on that visual roster for the website logo. Good job. Big thanks to Steve for all his work on the JSFL website and maintaining it all season. Thank you so much for that work and the fun and the joy it enables. Reminder that everyone that was still playing at the end of the last season, you're already signed up. And your account's ready to go, and it's ready for you to go in and put your picks in. We don't keep records of your passwords. Sorry, we can't help you remember what your password is or your username and all that. And we also want to say thanks to Jeremiah for taking care of the SFP fans page on Facebook, and to Christy and Hazel for your subscription donations. Also to Tom in Iowa for your donation. We greatly appreciate the support, helping us with the costs of running the podcast. Thank you so much for that.
And if you're new to JSFL, you need to register before the deadline of 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific Time on February 12th in order to play this season. Registration will close at that time, and you wouldn't be able to register after that until next season. So be sure to go in and read the official rules listed on the website so you'll understand how to play the game. Then you need to select your USB 24.
Ultimate Survivor bonus. Yep.
And that's the person you think will win this season. Be sure to hit the submit button or you will not have a USB. Unfortunately, that happens every season. But you should be able to go into the picks page where you select who's voted out in your safe picks. Your USB should be in bold letters.
Always appears in bold.
Yes. If it is not, then you do not have one. So you would need to go choose one and be sure to hit submit. So, and the vote off, like we said, they could surprise us with more than one person voted out since it's a 2-hour episode. But since we have no way of knowing that, the vote off choice you make is for first off only. So if you chose and that person went out second, you would not get a point. This only for first off, which is 2 points anyway. So.
All right, and I want to extend the invitation again if you want to be part of my side challenge where you have to sing if you lose, like Chris is going to do for us in just a minute here. Then send us an email before the first show airs on the East Coast on Wednesday, February 12th, and let us know that you want to be part of that side challenge. Make sure that we know what your username is, too. And that's part of why we ask for the email, because we can look it up from there normally. But make sure we know what your name is in JSFL so we can track your score for the side challenge going forward. So far, we've got Cameron, Jeremiah, Jonathan, Justin, and me.
Why did you skip Brandon?
Oh, and Brandon. He was at the very, he was on a line by himself, and I started reading at the other line.
Okay.
Yeah, we got you, BrandonA. You're in the side challenge.
Okay.
I think it's time for Chris to pay his debt from last season's side challenge. So Randy chose the song Teacher, Teacher, and that's what Chris worked from to come up with this parody song based on the events of season 39. Here we go.
Doom, da, doom, 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 da, doom. Just when I thought I'd had enough of Jeff, production gave me my request. Doom, doom, doom. But there's only so much screen time. How could we be blessed? It's the island of the idols with big heads. Well, yeah. Fingers linger, phantom tingler. Handsy Dan, will you let me go? In the flora, spinning Nora. That's all the footage they're gonna show. Whoa, Dan, let go. Meanwhile, the goats are grazing. Who will pass the test? Who will get to use the tricks they're shown? Over at Rob and Sandra's Survivor Masterclass, Tommy never went, so the win's his own. Woo! Trusted, busted, can of biscuits. Elaine's a gamer, sad to see her go. Tommy's mommy, she was raw meat. See you later on the wrap-up show. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. They took the best show of our lives, taught us about pre-arranged wives, but what we saw was soon forgotten. Skipped over days one at a time, again in Fiji to save a dime. They take for granted we're still watching. Bleacher teachers, you the jury, ask your question if Jeff says so. Featured teachers, Rob and Sandra, what's your prediction on when you'll go? Get your picks in early and often. Survivor fans who are in the know. Digital content creators of the Joanne and Stacy show. Bum, bum. Fiji Ouija. Dum, dum. Can you say it, man? Doom, doom, doom. Survivor Dan. Doom, doom, doom. Can you not grope, Matt? Edge of extinction. Doom, doom. Life support, man. Doom, doom, doom. Fire making challenge. Doom, doom, doom. Well, who's left? We'll see. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, Survivor fans. Doom, doom, doom. Joanne and Stacy. Doom, 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 doom. Woo!
All right.
All right.
Good job. Good job. Debt paid. Well done.
All right,
done, sir.
Chris. That was fun.
Yeah, enjoy that. I can tell you put some work into that. Good job. I like that a lot.
Thanks, Chris.
Have a good one.